So we're really getting to the end of our road here. We've done a lot of work and I'm very, very happy and proud of all the work you've done. So the app is working fine. And just mind you, as I have mentioned in previous videos, is that I actually changed everything in our index HTML to say 7.20.0 for Firebase app, Firebase Auth, and Firebase Firestore. So this seems to be the only version that is actually working. So again, if you're watching this at a later time and this is no longer valid, then add the current versions. And if it's worked, that's great. But if it's not working, this seems to be the version that gives you no headaches whatsoever of the errors that we were having earlier. Okay, so that's something really important to realize, especially as you build these apps, these web apps. It's very frustrating to see something that we're putting together and all of a sudden it doesn't work, and the errors that are showing are not very helpful, at least the messages. And so it's frustrating, believe me. I've gone through this. Many other developers are going through this. So just know 7.20.0, that's what's happening right now. Now, one thing we want to do, if we look at the main app, you'll notice that we have this image icon there. Okay, now this is optional, of course, but since we're trying to be consistent and have a complete picture of the app, let's go ahead and see how can we add this icon there. First, let's get the actual icon, which means this icon that is showing on the app that is running. Let's get rid of all of these guys. Let's open up there. The first thing we need to do, we must add something inside of our project. Get there, I'm going to create a new folder. Click. The moment I do that, it adds the cursor inside of web. What I want actually is going to be outside of everything at the root level. What I found to be helpful is just to click anywhere really here. Let's go to lib, right click, and I'm going to say reveal in Finder, or try to open this folder or the location on your app, the location to this folder, okay, on your machine. That's what we need to do. I found it much easier to just come from here, right click, say new folder, and then I'm gonna give this folder name assets, and you can see now it's gonna be inside at the root level of Book Tracker app, or the name of the app you've given. Okay, and then what I need to do, I already have those images, so I'm gonna just copy these images that I have in my secret window, and I'm gonna paste all of them there. So if I click, you can see we have all these images. So we have this icon 76. These are different sizes or different resolutions. And there are a lot of different softwares out there that allow you to create icons. So if you type on Google icon creator of some sort, you will find a lot of them, and you can do that. But these are the images that we have. And we can see now that we have this assets folder there with all those images. So assets/images. Now we need to do something else for all these images to be able to be recognized by Flutter, which is we need to go to our YAML and add those images into our dependencies. All right. So right about here, what I need to do, just highlight these two lines, say command / to unselect everything. Now this is going to be problematic because this doesn't exist. So what we need to do is to give the path. So it's going to be assets / images. So I'm going to leave that images there. I'm going to say assets / images. And what we need really, I'm going to get rid of all of that, is the icon -76.png, like that. Okay, let's go ahead and save. And we're going to run the pub get. Okay. And what I've also realized that sometimes when this happens, when you add new assets, you should stop the whole app if it's running, of course. And sometimes I find it helpful just to quit out of this VS Code and run it again. So VS Code, we believe that main screen, that's where the action happens really. We want to add, if you look back to our code or to our project that's running, we want to add the button, or rather the image, right before the text. It means then it's going to be before this text here. So I'm going to just put an image asset here. I'm going to say image.asset, and then we're going to add the path to that image. We say assets has to be exactly the same images. We say it's icon-76.png. The other thing I can do, I can pass the scale here. Okay, and I just want to say 2. So to minimize this size. All right, let's save. Let's go ahead and rerun the entire project. Let's stop this. Looks like we need to, because we restarted everything, let's go ahead and select device. We want Chrome. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and sign in. And voila, you can see we have the icon showing there. Very good. So everything else should work just fine. We can add a few other books, maybe something not related to development. Let's say writing, because it's important to learn how to write at some point. Book writing, there we go. That's something I need to learn to do. Let's save. About writing, I'm going to save this book as well. Let's go back to book search. Oh, there we go. This is good. This is exactly what we're looking for, right? Because these books were just added and that works. And then click here and let's say, okay, this is all good. I want to start reading this book and I'll just start with, let's say 2. Okay, and remember the 4.5 that you see there is because that is the default that we add if a book doesn't have any rating. Okay, we're pretty generous if you ask me. Say starting reading. All right, let's update. We should see the book. There it is. It's 2 because that's what we gave it. If we at some point decided, you know what, we're good people, 2.5. You should see 2.5. It's there. And at some point we say, okay, this book is not any good. I'm just going to delete. Yes. And the book is gone forever, ever and ever. All right, everything is working fine. And of course, I can click on the user. We can see the books that they have read already. We can edit and do all sort of things. Very good. So the app it's done pretty much. And now what I want you to do is to find your own icon. Again, the idea is to make this your own app. You change the name as well. Okay, this is going to be yours. All right, making good progress.